Okay, let's start off the new year with some hints for homework sheet 13. First one, a nice wee easy one to get us back into the swing of things. We need to remember for this question BODMAS or BIDMAS, I know some of you use. So we need to do the multiplication sum here, the division sum here first and foremost. So get this answer, and then do the takeaway part. Should be fairly easy start. Second question, got to do some substitution. So the -1 has to go in here for the x, and the 3 has to go in here for the y. So we end up with 20, take away 4 times -1 squared times 3. And just like the previous question, BODMAS, so we need to do the squared first of all, then we do the multiplication, then we do the takeaway. Question 3, good old fractions. Only one whole number this time, so we just have the 3 at the front. Now we need to find a common denominator, a number that's in the 5 and the 3 times table, which is 15. So that should generate some new numbers for you on the top. And then you just do the calculation. Question 4, factorize. So in a pair of brackets. Now the only thing you can do to get 3x squared is 3x times x. So that's going to lessen our work a wee bit. How are we going to find the rest of the numbers? Well, if we do the little table method, 3x and x at the top of the table. Next thing we're looking at is this number at the end, and we're just looking at the 2, not the sign, just the number itself. So how many ways can we make a 2? We can do 1 times 2, or we can do 2 times 1. Okay, now we do this cross multiplying idea. So 3 lots of 2 is 6x, 1 lot of x is x, and the question we need to ask ourselves is there anything we can do with these two numbers to make the -5 in the middle? If there is, then when it comes to writing down your solution, remember we do this. Question 5, find the equation of this straight line. Well, we're going to use the formula y minus b equals mx minus a. So we need to know a point. Well, that could be your point AB. We need to know the gradient. We need to know the m. Now, unfortunately, we don't know it from the diagram. However, if we take this point here 4 and write its full coordinates down as 4, 0, we've now got 2 points, which allows us to use the formula m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So use that to get the gradient, plug it in here, plug the 10 in for A, plug the 3 in for B, and then solve it to end up with y equals. Big problem here though, guys, I don't know if you've spotted it. Question says that this axis is actually called T and this axis is actually called S. So your answer won't be y equals, it'll be T equals, because you need to write it in the form of the question. Question 6, solve the inequality. Now I know the thing that causes people a wee bit of angst here is the fact we've got one of these symbols in the middle instead of an equals. That's a less than symbol. Okay, but when it comes to do this question, just basically ignore it. We might need to take care of it at the end, we might not, which we'll find out as we go down the question. So we just use our basic rules of algebra, solving equations, which the first thing we do is we remove the brackets. So keep that sign the same. 2 times 1, take away 2 times -2, -4x. Now your next goal is to try and get all the letters on this side, so the 5x is staying and the -4x is coming over beside it. So that'll give you so many x's. And on the other side, the +2 is staying and the -4 is coming over beside that. So you'll get a number here. So you've got so many x's equal a number, so that means that x is going to be less than one number divided by the other number. I'll let you work out how to do that, and if it needs to be simplified, go ahead. Question 7, functions. First part says work out f of 4. Well, that's easy. Just put 4 in for x. So that's 3 to the power 4. You'll just work that out. Part B of the question is a wee bit more complicated. This time it says that f of x is equal to the cube root of 27. Well, we know what the cube root of 27 is. Okay, I don't think I'm giving the game away. Excuse me, by saying it's 3. So we've got a little formula now that says f of x equals 3. Lo and behold, up here at the top, we said that f of x was equal to 3 to the power x. So, instead of this f of x here, I'm going to put in its place 3 to the power x. So I've got 3 to the power x is equal to 3. So what power must be here? That tells you what your x is. Question 8, single fractions. Get a new bottom number. How do we do that? Times these things together. X times x take away 2. How do you get the new top numbers? We do x times the 3, and then the x minus 2 times the 2. Remembering to simplify the answer at the very end. Question 9, some surds and brackets that we need to remove, so just do your good old fashioned way of doing that. So root 5 times root 5, root 5 times root 3, and then so on. You can do that for the other example as well. Root 3 times root 5, root 3 times root 3. It should all tidy up and you should get a really simple answer at the end. Over to the calculator section. The car's value has fallen by 12.5%. It's now 10,500. How much was it? So it's going to be a reverse percentage. That's the important thing, that we identify the type of question. Reverse percentage question. So if it's fallen by 12.5, 10 take away 12.5% is, turn that into a decimal. Reverse percentage means you do a divide. So 10,500 divided by that decimal should get your answer. Question 11. Calculate the distance between these 2 points. Well, we know this one is -2. This here is the distance I'm looking for. If I transfer this diagram in a right angle triangle, I could use Pythagoras to get that distance there. So what do I know from the picture? I know this little bit here is 2. I know this bit here is 5. So therefore, on my triangle, I know that the bottom part is going to be 7. Okay, let me go through that again. We know this distance is 2. We know this distance is 5. So this whole distance is going to be 7. We know that the shape is 4 high. So it just becomes a wee simple Pythagoras question. Question 12 is another Pythagoras question, but this time it's a converse of Pythagoras. And we've got to be pretty careful how we do this. So we work out what AC squared is. So that just simply means that we work out 7.2 squared. Then we work out what BC squared is. Then we work out what AB squared is. And I'm looking at these 3 answers that we've got. Right, we find the 2 small ones and we add them together and we compare it with this one. If it's the same as that, it's right angled. If it's not the same as that, it's not right angled. And I think the question tells us it's not right angled anyway, we've just got to prove it. And that's question number 13. Okay, we have 2 triangles that look a wee bit like what I've drawn here. First thing we need to do is we need to take the triangles and we need to draw them so they're in the same orientation. So that basically means taking the one at the end and turning it upside down. Okay, so the big one we know is 50, we know is 30, and we know is 70. The little one, once you've turned it around, I'll let you work out where the 15 goes. Once you've worked out where the 15 goes, you can work out what the linear scale factor is, and once you've got that, you can find the missing sides for OC and OD. Okay, hopefully that's a good sheet for you this week's.